Hey guys, I hope you're well. So it seems like the situation in Congo is getting more attention from the Western media. Recently, we had the BBC, Sky News, and other major Western media outlets reporting about the situation in Congo. As you know, what they call the M23 rebels, they are attacking the region of Goma. They are systematically destroying the local population and forcing them to move out the areas in which they live. There are many people actually saying that how comes a really vast country like Congo can be basically controlled by a small country like Uganda. As many people claim that the N23 rebels they are backed by Rwanda, and in fact, this is true. Not only that, is if you look at the past in Congo, there has been a couple of occasions where Rwanda has intervened in the Congo, and they had removed the president from power, and they have replaced the president with another individual which was more sympathetic towards the Congo. This happened with Kabila one, who was replaced by his son, one of the well-known Congolese presidents. And then this also happened with Mobutu. He was a dictator who became the president of Congo after the country gained independence from Belgium, and he betrayed his colleague in the revolution against the Belgian colonizers, right? So now the situation is still pretty much the same because we have the M23, which many say that they are supported by Rwanda, but obviously Rwanda is a really small country. But one thing that is really interesting about Rwanda is that they do have a well trained military. This military is financed and supported by Western countries. They have intervened in certain conflicts, like the one in Mozambique, which they independently decided to go in there and occupy a territory without really doing much against the so called Islamic terrorists in that country. And then they have many problems with the authorities regarding the presence in the country. Rwanda is one of the countries that in Africa that they don't like much China. They just dislike them. And they pretty much fall in agreement with the Western approach towards China in Africa, where they actually think that China is exploiting African countries just like the West did. Obviously, any person with a mind will know that this is not true. Absolutely not true. Anyways, the situation in Congo is getting worse. Now, the media, for some reason, decided to report on this, although it's been happening for many years, okay? Hundreds of years now, basically. If it's not the colonial powers, it's the proxy powers. By proxy, I mean a country that pretty much implement the interest of another big country in the region. And this is the Great Lake regions of Africa, which is where Congo is situated. You also have Burundi, you have Rwanda, you have Uganda, and you have other countries that somehow they also got involved in the Congolese conflict. So many of us have watched Hotel Rwanda, which basically works through the G crime that happened in the country, and many of these individuals that left the country they were Hutus, and they migrated to Congo, to the eastern part of Congo. And this has been used as an excuse by the current president of Rwanda, Mr. Paul Kagame, to constantly intervene in Congolese politics and pass the border, completely illegal. But for some reason, the so called international community and the countries that are part of the UN Security Council, they don't see a major problem with this, right? So the reason why they're crossing and they're using the Hutus, which they call them terrorists or they call them people that want to destabilize Rwanda, the reason why they cross it is to keep control of the Congolese government. Because every time Congo gets a president, one individual, that wants to defend the country and have the interest of the country in mind and in heart. This individual is violently removed from power. And this is not just Rwanda leading this. Rwanda is supported by many countries that the main interest is keeping control over the Congo. Congo is one of the richest countries in Africa in terms of natural resources. And there are specific natural resources such as coltan and other minerals that are required for the technological era in which we live at this moment, right? So there are many companies as well that they are very interested in keeping the Congo under control politically, economically, and also socially. Okay. So having this continuous destabilization in the areas where these minerals are located is one of the main policies. The rest of the Congo is pretty much peaceful. Okay. Congo, although it's a very rich country when it comes to natural resources, as it happens in many African countries, it's a country that economically is not successful. They don't have money. It's not necessarily because of mismanagement, but much more because of the fact that they haven't been allowed to grow. If you think about it, the dynamic and how neoliberalism works and how big companies obtain the minerals required to create the finalized goods, they need to secure a really cheap line of resources, okay? The export of those resources to their countries, so the import of those resources have to be cheap in order to at least keep the cost of production cheap. Although then they will sell the final product for a lot more money. Even the mineral they obtain from the Congo, in many cases, is through illegal mining, very rudimental mining. These are families, kids, basically mining in the middle of the forest, okay, risking their lives every single day, which is most probably what's going to happen now in these territories that have been captured by the M23. So you need to understand that the problem in Congo is not something isolated. It's not something that only relates to Congo, and it's not something that only Congo is concerned about. This issue is linked to everything. It's linked to the current geopolitical issues that we have in the world today. You can link it directly to the war in Ukraine if you want to. You can link it directly to the technological advancements that we're having at the moment, like electric cars, for example, like computers, for example, even like the production of nuclear weapons as well. Okay, there are many minerals that come from the Congo. So unfortunately, the Congo was cursed, completely cursed, because they have natural resources, and obviously in these territories there are people that live there. So the easiest way to move these people from the location is to create a problem. But this problem, as always, is too extreme. Congo has been suffering under the stream of the colonial powers, under the stream of the proxy powers for hundreds of years now. From chopping off hands, kids' hands basically, all the way to what's going on today, which are atrocities that I'm not going to describe. So, for those that look at the map and they think that the Congo is too big and they don't understand why they cannot deal with Rwanda, we're talking about an impoverished country, an underdeveloped country that they haven't given them the rights to develop. And although they're trying really hard to do it, these political problems in the eastern part of the country, which is a tiny point in the country, is creating such issues internally, okay, that it's impossible for them to move on. Now, obviously, the Congolese army has fought. They resisted the M23 to a certain point. They reached a point where there is no money, there is no weapons, and many of the soldiers just gave up. They gave up, they took off their clothes, and they left their positions, clearing everything, leaving everything free for the M23 to come in and take control of those territories that they were defending. So they're having many peacekeeping missions in the Congo, blue helmets as we know them, that have been doing pretty much nothing. We know when the West is interested in a specific country and they want that country to succeed in a war against another country, which is what the Security Council is meant to be doing when you have rebels taking over a country, right? They support them 100%. There we have a good example, which is Ukraine. But in the case of the Congo, this is never going to happen. Never. This is not going to happen. This is not in the mind. And obviously, whether it's happening right now, based on the response, we can conclude that is really the interest. So the people of Congo are suffering, and they'll continue doing so. And I'll continue making videos to make you aware, guys, of what's really happening. There are many people putting comments out there. Be careful, because many of them, they're either from Rwanda, people from Rwanda, they don't like Congo. Not everyone from Rwanda, things like that. But there are many people that dislike Congo. Or there might be individuals that are looking to spread fake information. And it's easy to do when you look at the case plainly, as the media is showing you, and you don't link it with what is actually happening in the world in terms of geopolitics, in terms of the international system itself. As you know, China is growing big when it comes to technology, and they do need resources from African countries, and they're reaching to African countries. They're signing really good deals, okay, with many African countries. Now, Congo is basically the jewelry. It's a jewelry in Africa. It's one of the richest countries, right? And these countries that I mentioned earlier, the Western countries basically, they can't let this country fall in the hands of China. Although somehow the Chinese are already operating, they won't allow them to have full control with the initiatives like the Belt and Road Initiative and many other initiatives that the Chinese have started. So let's see what happens. Please don't get confused or fooled by individuals online that they're trying to twist the narrative, use the ancient neo-colonial or colonial narrative to justify the killing of thousands of people every single month. This is getting to an extreme level. It has been, because millions of people have died in the Congo. But the fact that we have people justifying this, blaming the Congo for the actual problem that is happening in the country, a poor country that doesn't even have the means to defend itself against rebels that get weapons, who knows from where? Who knows from where? I know from where, but many people don't know where they get the weapons from, where they get the gears, where they get everything that they have in order to take control over these territories. So, as I say, I'll continue informing you about the situation in the Congo. Make sure you share this video. Talk about your friends about this. Go to my YouTube page where I have like an hour and a half video explaining the historical situation of Congo, what happened in the past, and how we arrived to the point in which we are today. So I hope you like this video. I'll continue informing you.